So in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to write a diagram. As in, you know that in academic IELTS, you get task one, and in one of the types of that task one comes this diagram thing. So it's not that you have to do anything extra about it. It's actually something I would say less, just that you have to follow the format, as in without any maybe data or maybe figures and so you don't have to be any kind of analytical or mathematical. It's just there, but you have to write. So you just have to think about as in what to write where, and you should not be missing out on anything. See, as in the overview has to be here also. The division according to maybe common logic should be here also in regard to the maybe the steps and the body paragraphs. So we cannot say that it's any kind of maybe free marks or whatever is generally said about it, but still it's something that is easier than the other types of task one, because of the that leverage here that you do not have to deal with statistics. Fine. So first I want to make clear some points, as in points in regard to the mistakes that are generally made in this task. Sometimes people miss some points. Don't do that. Do not skip any point. Whatever is there from the first step to the last, should repeat. You should write it. And then do not add any new point. Sometimes people add their opinion also. They write something, perhaps suppose there's a truck in the diagram, so they would say a beautiful truck is used with as little fuel as possible. Why are you giving any kind of maybe positive vibes? It's all about writing what is there and nothing about beautification or addition. And then you should be dividing the information in half. Suppose you have 8 steps, you should write 4 in the first body paragraph and 4 in the next one. Suppose you have 9, then maybe 5 4, or 5 4 or something. So do not write as in, suppose you have 8 steps and you're writing maybe 2 and 6. That is wrong also. And suppose you have 9 steps and you're writing maybe 3 and 6. That is also something awkward. So if you do not have an even number, it's okay. You can always keep a difference of 1, but not more than that. So in regard to the overview, you can write using such things. Maybe you can talk about the nature of the process that is there in front of you. If it's linear, if it's cyclical, or if it's reversible. I'll talk about them in detail in the further slides. And you can talk about the number of steps in the overview, like it's an 8-step process or it's a 7-step process, starting here and ending there. You can mention those also. They are also good for the overview thing. And you can talk about as in what kind of machinery or what kind of manpower is there, or maybe simply that it is completely mechanical or it is completely labor based, or there could be a combination of both also. So you can write those things also. And you can talk about, maybe suppose the sample I'm going to make you do afterward, you see that it is quite a long process. You can talk about its duration also, like I will tell you when we do the sample task. So in order to make these points clear to you, linear, cyclical, and reversible, let's move on to the next slide. A linear process is something that starts as a point and ends at another. For instance, you're making Maggie. Okay, so you take the raw material, you wait for 2 minutes, which is a myth, and then you get the end product. It's not that the cooked Maggie is gonna be transferred. It's gonna be transformed into the raw material, the packet thing. It's all about a start and an add and end, and the steps in between, of course. That's a linear process. Then maybe cyclical. Cyclical is that when the end product actually leaves out, leaves behind some raw material that repeats the process. Maybe a butterfly thing, and when the butterfly actually has evolved from the eggs after the intermediate stages, the butterfly itself leaves behind eggs so that the process repeats itself. So it's a cyclical process where you get to see the start and the end both many times, along with the intermediate steps again. And then sometimes the processes are reversible. For instance, there's one where the hydroelectric pump thing, as in, is there in one of the Cambridge books. So sometimes what happens in, during the day is returned during the night, or vice versa. It's not something perhaps that is, the same as the cyclical one, because cyclical is that some products go away also, like the butterfly that has left behind the eggs has flown away. A new butterfly is going to emerge. Here it's actually the same thing that goes to and fro. For instance, in that hydraulic thing itself, water comes, and the same water goes back also. you know it moves in one direction during the day, it moves in the other direction during the night, so that's reversible. So now what we are going to do is that we're going to see a sample, and it will become clearer to you as in how to go about the real thing. Now you see the ugly cat. I'm sorry for this face. So you can get this sample on my blog under the category academic writing task 1. Diagram academic task 1. So I think it's, yeah. And let's analyze this picture. You can also pause the video and analyze it by yourself, but I did it quite a long time back, so I need to reanalyze it to explain it to you. So give me, grant me 1 minute maybe. So fine, I think it's quite easy. As in, you can see, first of all, you can see the duration in that step, 12 to 18 months. That is what I was telling you. As in, you can talk about a certain feature that stands out. As in, this is not a small period, and you can highlight it because whenever you talk about such a period, it's worth mentioning that it's so long. And then you can see you have both manpower and machinery, and then all that shebang. So let's get to it. The given illustration describes the stages involved in making sugar and sugar from sugarcane, as in I've tried to change words. So in general, the procedure spans almost 1.5 years. You can see 12 to 18 months. So it can be anywhere near that. And it's not that it's the only thing. After that, even harvesting and all are there. So it can be beyond 18 months also. So I've written approximately 1.5 years. So in general, the procedure spans almost 1.5 years. It is linear. You can see it's not that you can make sugarcane from sugar. So it's linear, and it involves both manpower and specialized equipment. It's more than enough. I did not need to write the number of steps, as in I do not want to overdo it also. So I repeat, in general, the procedure spans almost 1.5 years. It is linear and it involves both manpower and specialized equipment. You can see the equipment, the evaporator, the filter, the machine and all. So you have 7 steps. So you can go by maybe 3, 4 or 4, 3, whatever. So let's see. To begin with, the sugarcane crop takes a year or 6 months more to reach its prime. That means to grow, as in completely. So you can see growing takes 12 to 18 months. Thereafter, its reaping begins. As in you can see, the crop is being cut, both by the human labor and the machinery otherwise. Both labor and machinery are employed in its cutting, as I said, as in they are both there. Subsequently, the harvest is crushed mechanically, as in the machines are used to do so. So it's the crushing is going on in step 3. And sugarcane juice is procured. That means obtained. Let me give it a revision until this point. Fine. So as you can see, after that, in step 4, what happens is uh, purification, as in using a limestone filter. So further, purification of the obtained liquid is carried out. It is made to happen in a conical limestone filter with an outlet, as in conical means in the form of a cone, or the shape is like that of a cone, and there's an outlet also. After this, the purified juice is made dense by heating it in an evaporator, as in, of course, syrup is denser than juice. So you can write that, as in you can always elaborate as in expand on the points that are given. Suppose it's becoming syrups, you can say that it is becoming denser. I have not added anything, that modifies the qualities or something. It's all about what is written over there in an expanded form. So after this, the purified juice is made dense by heating it in an evaporator. Afterward, the mechanism of centrifugation starts. You can see the dense syrup is made to move anti-clockwise in a container. This is clockwise, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is anti-clockwise, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So opposite of that, opposite of the general movement of the clock. It's going this way, no? The arrows. So this part renders sugar crystals separated from the syrup. So what happens in the centrifugation part is that separates sugar crystals from syrup, and that's what is written over here. At the end, moisture is removed from the collected sugar and its temperature is lowered. So you can see if they are drying it, that means they are removing the moisture, and if they're cooling it, that means its temperature is going down. Both steps take place in the same vessel. So you can see both are taking place in the same vessel. Let's give it a revision. So I think I've covered all the points. fine. So if this video was helpful, give it a like and share it with the people who need this, and leave a comment if for whatever you think about this video and me. So bye.